In the middle of a quiet night, tiny flashes of light appear and disappear like signals from nowhere, almost as if something invisible is trying to communicate. They don't burn, they don't flicker like flames, and they don't seem to follow any obvious pattern at first glance. Yet somehow these small creatures are producing light on their own, with a precision that feels almost engineered rather than natural. So, how do fireflies actually generate light inside their own bodies? It's subtle, it's controlled, and it raises a question that's surprisingly difficult to answer at a glance. Let's get into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. Fireflies produce light through a process called bioluminescence, which refers to light created by living organisms through chemical reactions. Unlike a bulb or flame, this light doesn't rely on electricity or heat. Instead, it comes from a reaction between specific molecules inside the firefly's body. When these molecules interact, they release energy in the form of visible light. What's remarkable is how little energy is wasted in the process. In most human-made systems, a large portion of energy is lost as heat, but fireflies convert nearly all of it into light. This makes their glow extremely efficient and gives it that soft, cool appearance that stands out in the dark. The light-producing reaction depends on a few essential components working together precisely. The main molecule involved is luciferin, which acts as the light-emitting compound. Alongside it is luciferase, an enzyme that speeds up the chemical reaction without being used up itself. Oxygen also plays a critical role, as it reacts with luciferin to trigger the light-producing process. Another important element is ATP, a molecule that stores and provides energy for cells. When luciferin combines with ATP, it becomes energized and ready to react. Once oxygen is introduced, the reaction produces an excited molecule that quickly releases its energy as light. Each of these ingredients must be present and carefully controlled for the glow to happen. Fireflies don't produce light throughout their entire bodies. Instead, the glow comes from a specialized part of their abdomen known as the lantern. Inside this area are cells called photocytes, which are specifically adapted for bioluminescence. These cells contain all the necessary chemicals and structures needed for the reaction. Surrounding the photocytes are reflective layers that help direct the light outward, making the glow brighter and more visible. This design ensures that very little light is lost inside the body. The lantern essentially functions like a highly optimized natural light source, carefully structured to maximize visibility while minimizing wasted energy. One of the most interesting aspects of fireflies is that they don't just glow continuously, they flash in patterns. This means they have a way to control when the light turns on and off. The key to this control lies in oxygen flow. Fireflies regulate the amount of oxygen reaching their photocytes through tiny internal structures, likely involving their tracheal system. When oxygen is allowed to enter the light-producing cells, the chemical reaction occurs and light is emitted. When the oxygen supply is reduced or blocked, the reaction stops almost instantly. This on and off control allows fireflies to produce quick flashes instead of a constant glow, giving them precise timing over their signals. Firefly light is often described as cold light because it produces almost no heat, which is extremely unusual compared to most light sources. In a typical incandescent bulb, a large amount of energy is lost as heat, making it inefficient. Fireflies, however, have evolved a system that converts chemical energy directly into light with minimal waste. This efficiency is crucial for their survival, as generating excess heat could damage their tissues or disrupt their biological processes. By keeping the reaction focused on light production rather than heat, fireflies maintain a safe and sustainable way to glow. This efficiency is one reason scientists study bioluminescence for potential applications in technology. The light produced by fireflies serves specific biological purposes rather than being a random trait. The most well-known function is communication, particularly for mating. Different species of fireflies have distinct flashing patterns, including variations in timing, duration, and rhythm. These patterns help individuals identify members of their own species and find suitable mates in the dark. In addition to communication, the glow can act as a warning signal to predators. Fireflies contain chemicals that make them unappealing or even toxic to eat, and their light helps advertise this defense. By glowing, they reduce the likelihood of being attacked, turning their light into both a signal and a survival tool. Fireflies may appear simple, but the way they generate light reveals a highly refined natural system. Through a carefully controlled chemical reaction involving luciferin, luciferase, oxygen, and energy from ATP, they produce light with remarkable efficiency. Their specialized lantern structures, ability to regulate oxygen flow, and nearly heat-free glow all work together to create something that feels almost effortless from the outside. What looks like a small flicker in the dark is actually a precise biological process happening at the molecular level. Understanding how fireflies generate light doesn't make them any less fascinating. It shows just how advanced natural systems can be, even in the smallest of creatures. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.